back to our discussion with our two diplomatic friends, Ambassador Juan Carlos Arancibia, I hope I pronounced it correctly, and Chargé d'Affaires of the Venezuelan Embassy, Manuel Perez Iturbe. And well, we were discussing Telesur, and that's an important subject because in the Philippines we are drowning in Western information and propaganda. We do get Russia Today already on Destiny Cable. Russia Today RT is a very rich source of information on the other side. For example, the Western media reported that Gaddafi's jets were shooting at the protesters. And Russia Today RT reported that their satellites did not monitor any flights of the Libyan Air Force on that day. So it's very important to get all this different information. Well, we will digress a little, and I will ask, is Telesur someday going to be in Philippine cable TV news? We were trying to arrange before.
You can to see Telesur in the internet.
Okay.
Very big, very good signal in telesurtv.net. It's in Spanish and Portuguese.
No English yet.
No English. It's new channel. Okay, we are working in big project. We go slow because it's not easy. You know that the TV is not easy.
That's right. That's right. Okay. Yeah. On the second half, I will focus more on the two countries represented here and the problems that you see with regards to these issues with the Western powers. For example, I'd like to get an update from Ambassador Juan Carlos about the Cuban Five. How are they now? What's the situation there?
Yes, they continue in jail in the US now for around 12 years. They were put in jail in 1998 without any previous prosecution. They were 17 months in jail, but after that they suffered the manipulation, the politicization of the process, because the venue was in Miami. You know, in Miami is based the
Cuban exiles.
The Cuban exiles with the right position and the counter-revolutionary position against Cuba, and they manipulate a lot the judiciary system in Miami, and they continue in jail. But according to the American laws, the President Obama has a possibility to sign the order of release these five freedom fighters, and they were put in jail unjustly because they say, the Americans say, that they were spying for against the American government, and it's not true, because they were trying to get the information about the terrorist group which were preparing and promoting and taking action, terrorist action against Cuba. And these five fighters, they were working in order to avoid this kind of terrorist activity against Cuba, to prevent the American government and the Cuban government against this kind of terrorist group. And so many times the Cuban authority alerts the American government about these terrorist groups, thanks these five freedom fighters. But the real situation is that they denied the human right of this fighter, because they denied the visa for their spouses to visit them.
Even to visit, huh?
You know, the Americans say that they are the champion of human rights defensor, but they deny the visa for the wife to make a visit and the family, and they manipulate. This is the case of a great manipulation and politicization of the case of the Cuban patriots who are in American jails, and we are continue struggling in favor of the release of our heroes. We consider these five patriots like heroes because they were fighting against terrorists which have been promoted from the U.S. territory with the sponsorship of the American government. This is the situation regarding to the Cuban 5.
Yeah.
And President Obama has a possibility to release immediately, and he didn't.
Well, I'll give a very brief background to our audience. The Cuban 5 are 5 diplomats. They're all connected with the Cuban embassy before in the U.S.
No, no, no.
Or they were just official representatives of the government of Cuba to help in information, gathering information about
Two of them.
terrorists.
Two of them are American citizens,
Okay.
and the other 3 are Cuban. But all of them have Cuban nationality, Cuban citizenship. But they were working in order to prevent this kind of situation. 2 of them are graduated from international relations career in Havana, but they didn't work in below the Cuban interest of section, because we don't have embassy in each country. We have interest of section office.
Okay. I'll go to Venezuela.
And it's one very big contradiction.
Yes,
United States, the government of Obama and before the government of George Bush say that they don't accept the terrorists. Bush say, with the you are with the terrorists or with us.
Yes.
And they protect the terrorists because they protect Orlando Bosch, a very big terrorist. He lived in Miami. They protect Luis Posada Carriles. Is one. Every people know that is the more important terrorist in America.
International.
America is 3 continents: South America, Central America, and North America. America is not United States. United States is a small country in America, and they protect Luis Posada Carriles. And they protect.
Well, what is the crime of Carriles? So our audience will.
Posada Carriles put bomb in different places in Venezuela, in Salvador, in Nicaragua,
What
in
about the
Honduras.
airplane? He also
The
put
Cuban-
a-
The plane, in
Cuban
the Cuban plane,
Cuban plane,
he killed 73
73.
sports people. And what did the morale of the United States that speak against to the terrorists for this side and say the human right, and they protect one terrorist that are free in Miami, walking in the street and prepare attempt against another countries?
Yes.
It's very big question. I do this question to you that I see now the TV. What happened?
Posada Carriles put bombs in Havana hotels in 1997, and he also prepared a lot of plot of assassination against Fidel Castro and other Cuban leaders, and he's a confessed terrorist. He have confessed all these crimes.
Chavez Abarca, yes.
Chavez Abarca, he support terrorist Chavez Abarca, who was a man who who put direct the bomb in the hotel, and behind these terrorists have been Posada Carriles, Orlando Bosch, the author of this explosion in air of a Cuban plane in 1976 was Posada Carriles, Orlando Bosch, and Hernan Ricardo, a connotated terrorist, and they are free,
And
totally free in Miami.
We don't hear very much about these cases in the Philippines because we are so reliant on the Western press. But of course, the Western press accused Gaddafi of being a terrorist, but it was their airplanes, their jets that bombed the home of Gaddafi
But
in Tripoli. Huh?
But they don't talk about the bomb which was put or ordered by Ronald Reagan against Gaddafi in 1986.
On his house.
On the house.
The daughter of Gaddafi.
Yeah,
Yes.
the daughter of Gaddafi.
They don't talk about that.
That's right.
You know, the West media is a fallacia because they publish only a lot of light against the rest of the world, and they publish according to their interest, but not publish the truth. So we are not opposite that in any country the West media publish, but allow also to the rest of the media from Latin America, from the Cuban news agency, Venezuelan news agency, to publish their views also from Telesur. You see, you have to choose or to give the people a possibility to choose, to
That's
compare
right.
the information.
Information.
Don't impose any kind of information from the
Yeah.
West media. You have to. You have
They
to.
don't say in the news that the rebel in Libya and another Arabian country is member of Al Qaeda, that's supporting for United States. United States like to invasion to Libya for oil. What is the moral of them? I say to the media, say the truth, don't say the lie.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Ambassador, you wanted to add?
Yes, I agree with that. They always lie. They never tell the truth to the international public opinion.
Yes, yes.
So we are here today responding to your invitation. We thanks a lot your invitation, but we, frankly speaking, we have to tell the truth
That's
to the
right.
world, to the Filipino people and the world.
Yeah, and as Chargé d'Affaires Perez Iturbe knows, in our program, we always seek out the other side of the story. For example, the Western press has been lambasting Gaddafi, saying 1,000, 2,000 dead in the civil conflict inside Libya. But how many have been killed by civilians killed by the American and British forces in Iraq? How many is the real estimate? Some say 500,000, some say 1 million.
Yes.
You have any
Million,
estimate?
Child,
Yeah.
civil people.
That's right.
In Afghanistan, United States killed
9 children. Yeah,
Nine
recently,
children.
9 children.
Recently.
Yeah.
And the Secretary Robert Gates say, I'm sorry. What is the moral of these people that kill children?
And
right.
the world never forget, also should never forget Kosovo.
Kosovo.
The NATO invasion to Kosovo.
Yes.
What was happening in Kosovo?
Yes. And
The American-led
Yeah,
NATO
you-
and the
you
British
say
and
in
killed a lot of
Kosovo,
people.
You say, and Freedom House support the OCPOT. OCPOT, one movement, and they say the revolution, the color revolution, and divided the former Yugoslavia. And this OCPOT, this organization, like to come to Venezuela to support a small group and supported for USAID and the another organization of the CIA inside Venezuela. They promote, you remember in 2002 one coup d'etat against Venezuela.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Well, there's an article here by David Rothscombe from Global Research, and he asks a question. The United States, well, let's see. Why is the United States so opposed to Gaddafi? He is the main threat to the U.S. hegemony in Africa because he attempts to unite the continent against the United States. This concept is called the United States of Africa. I think the America wants to organize a union in Africa that is under their control, like in Latin America.
This is another kind of intervention, American intervention all over the world. They want to take a control of African resources. Before coming here, I was working in African countries.
Really? What country were you assigned?
I was in Uganda.
Uganda. Oh.
I was in Uganda with by the time of terrorist attack against towers in New York.
Ah, yes, yes.
I know very well what was published, what happened in Africans' public opinion in that time. And they wanted to create the African Command. What is the African Command? This is another extension of European Command to take a control of the regions, the resources, and to make or to have a military presence in Africa. So they are promoting the idea of United States of Africa, but this is a fallacy. It's not in benefit of African countries, of the continent, African continent. It's only in benefit of their interests,
That's right.
of transnational interest to take a control of the continent. It's a very rich continent.
The United States of America had done the same to Latin America 50 years ago, right? What they're trying to do to Africa now. And
But
you have succeeded in, under the leadership of Fidel Castro and particularly Hugo Chavez, tried to organize around the real interest of Latin American countries. Ambassador Chargé d'Affaires Perez Iturbe was looking through his other documents here. there may be other issues you want to raise. I want to make sure you are able to bring them out. Please.
Yeah, I have I have many newspapers that are articles against to Venezuela, against to Venezuela, against to Venezuela, against to Cuba, against to Venezuela, and I don't read in newspaper what happened in Wisconsin, what happened inside United States, what happened in the Bronx, that the people dead in the street, what happened in the financial crash, where is Madoff, where is Stanford. No, they don't. They say only against to us, and I think that they has no moral for speak against to us because they has very big problem inside United States. And what is the moral of them?
Well, the more problems they have inside the U.S., the more problems they will create all over the world. So that
no, they have one revolution inside United States. They don't like say that they have one revolution now in Wisconsin with the workers, in Illinois, in Ohio, in Kansas. In Texas, they had very big problem because they had group for like the secession of a new country, Texas country.
That's right.
Yes. And you don't read in the newspaper, Associated Press, United Press International, Reuters, don't speak that in United States, in Texas, has very big movement for secession.
There is not a freedom of information. There is not a democracy of information.
Yeah.
You know, because if you only publish the news about what is happening outside your country and according to your interest and your view, there is not a real freedom of information they promote as a part of the freedom of democracy all over the world. So there is a fallacy, I repeat, there is a fallacy of information, not the freedom of information.
I wonder if you have been able to follow the most recent item in the American media where Hillary Clinton, speaking to the, I think, U.S. Senate or U.S. Congress, was asking for more money for U.S. information campaign all over the world. And she says, we're losing the information war. She used the term information war.
They depend of the big international corporation. They has no govern. The govern is from the Bilderberg Group. It's the big government in the world. The Bilderberg Group is the owner of the big companies, General Dynamics,
That's right.
Industrial Army,
Yes, yes.
General Electric, Procter & Gamble.
Yes.
All companies has relation with Bilderberg Group.
Yes, yes.
And Bilderberg Group, the director of Bilderberg Group, for example, is Henry Kissinger, George Bush father, Rockefeller Group. This is the true government in the world because they are the owner of the Universal Studio, the owner of Warner Brothers, the owner of Walt Disney.
Boeing, maybe.
Yes,
Boeing,
all media, CBS, CNN. This is the owner of media. This is the media government.
That's right.
Against to us. And we need to denunciate that them is terrorists. The true terrorists.
Yes, Mr. Ambassador, yes.
You know, they are trying to link the situation in Arab countries with the misinformation about Cuba and Venezuela. You know,
Yes.
because they have a power of information, the power of media, and this situation in Arabic countries have been artificially created through the internet, through the power of internet to create a confusion, a lot of confusion.
The social media.
The social media, yes.
Yes. I ask, for example, why they don't write that Venezuela is free of illiteracy, that the Venezuela is minority poverty, that the Venezuela has the more big index in work, in job. The Venezuela and Cuba has the more big health service, and the education is free and obligatory, and the student has breakfast, lunch, dinner. Why they don't write? They write that Eva Gollinger is one international lawyer of United States, open opened the secret paper of the Department of State and denounced before the WikiLeaks. She denounced the terrorists inside the United States. Why they don't say now, for example, that yesterday in Libya arrest one helicopter with United Kingdom soldiers, spies, and the last week was Netherlands group.
That's right, 3 soldiers,
And you don't read in the news.
Ambassador, yes.
Why they don't talk about the blockade imposed against Cuba for more than 50 years? They euphemistically call embargo, but there is not embargo. This is a real economic war against Cuba, because they blockade finance, they blockade the Cuban trade with other countries in order to make a starvation of the people and to destroy the revolution. Why they don't talk about the terrorist action against Cuba? Why they don't talk about the plot of assassination against Fidel Castro? Why they don't talk about the more than 40,000 health personnel, Cuban health personnel working abroad, most of them in Venezuela, to assist other countries?
Well,
this is the freedom of information. This is the democracy of information.
That's right.
This is a totally a fallacia
What is
against
very
our
clear to
countries.
me, as we come to the end of our program, is that we have to have one more discussion, because you are pouring out so many things. We'll have to have more time to discuss this. So we've come to the end of our program. Just a few seconds each to say goodbye to our audience, please.
Herman, thank you for the invitation, and thank you for you that support to us in your house now, seeing the TV. And we like to say that it's very important that the people want information in another media, because the confusion is very bad for to know.
Okay, Mr. Ambassador, yes.
I also want to thank Mr. Hernan for the invitation to have here. I hope that this is not going to be the last time. I hope to be here again, and I only also want to remember my leader Fidel Castro. He said that don't tell the people believe, tell the people read. That means that you have to give the people the possibility to choose the real information, to get a conclusion about different sources of information. Thank you very much for the invitation.
Well, thank you very much to the 2 ambassadors, and we'll definitely have to have another session. With that, thank you very much, and until next week. Good. So